welcome to this launch event of the SureColour SC-V7000, hosted by digitalprint.ie in Dublin in partnership with Epson. My name is Phil McMullen and I manage the Epson Pro Graphics wide format business in UK and Ireland. I'm really excited to be here with digitalprint.ie, who have grown over the last few years into our premier partner in Ireland. And actually during 2020, on the back of their phenomenal customer service, they've grown to become premier partner in the whole of the territories I manage. So that's UK and Ireland, as I said. The SureColour SC-V7000 is Epson's first UV flatbed development, and it reflects our global commitment to the signage industry. Now, those of you who follow Epson will know this is actually not our first UV printer. We cut our UV teeth with the SurePress industrial label printer that retails for about £400,000, and that's been available for some time. So we already know a thing or two about handling UV ink and how to get the best possible print results out of that particular ink set. Now, John will talk to you in a little more detail in a minute about Epson's ongoing R&D investment, but suffice to say, the wide format part of our global Epson business is getting the lion's share of that funding, very much seen as the future of the business. Now, Epson followers will also know that we own most of our own intellectual property, and that puts us in a really unique position when it comes to developing printers for the graphic display market. And what I mean by this is that we design and build our own print heads in Japan. We have our own ink chemists creating the best ink recipes, and we write our own software and firmware. And the end result of this, the important thing from our customers' point of view, is that all components that are used to create the whole work in perfect harmony with each other to get the best possible results. And the leading example of this that's currently in the market already and very well established is the SureColour SC8600 eco-solvent printer. And this printer is not just the best-selling device for signage in Ireland, but also in UK, Europe, and I'm pleased to say globally. And that is continuing in through to 2021 as well. So it's with this phenomenally successful platform as a base that we confidently release our new UV offering that will deliver exceptional new levels of print quality, color gamut, reliability, and low total running costs. So it's now time for me to stop talking, hand back to the team at digitalprint.ie for the rest of the program. Thanks for listening.
Céad míle fáilte le teorann taispeánta digitalprint.ie in Málaíocha Clia. My name is John Noonan, and together with my colleague Colin McCarthy, on behalf of all the team at digitalprint.ie, I'm delighted to be joining you live from our showroom here in Glasnevin in Dublin. Thanks very much to Phil McMullen for a fantastic introduction to our live virtual event today. Epson are a powerhouse when it comes to research and development, as Phil mentioned. They invest $1.3 million per day on average in R&D. That makes them one of the world's top innovators. They have 50,000 patents registered across all of their business units. And a sizable portion of their research and development dollar goes into the large format print area, or signage, as perhaps we know it better. In 2019, Epson were #1 in the US and Japan in inkjet-related patents. They're the places, the hotbed of innovation in our industry. And having Epson at #1 in inkjet is really saying something. But more specifically, and what has us really excited, was to note that in March 2020, Epson had 3,490 patents registered around the piezo printhead. And why that's significant for us is it's the piezo printhead that is at the core of the Epson S8600 and the S-series range that we've been so successful with in the Irish marketplace over the last number of years. Epson is now the #1 seller in its segment thanks to the S-series. And this fantastic performance from the printhead in the S series, and knowing that printhead so well makes us very excited that this same printhead and this same technology is in this UV flatbed printer. This same piezo technology is in this new UV flatbed printer from Epson. So, over the course of the next hour or so, myself and my colleague Colin will be giving you a deep dive demo on this new and exciting technology from Epson, this SC V7000 UV flatbed printer. We'll be highlighting to you some of the features of the machine. We'll be doing a range of different jobs so you can get a really good feel as to what this technology could do for your business. Not only do we have all the key flatbed applications covered, but you can uncover a range of new and innovative ideas, business applications that will ultimately help you grow your business and profit. We'll also be joined by Nigel Cliff. He's one of the top consultants and trainers on LinkedIn. He'll be giving you some tips and tricks that you can put to good use immediately. But all the while, there will be a camera in the inside of the picture, of your picture, enabling you to keep a very close eye on what's going on here in Dublin with the UV flatbed printer. So as you can see, the machine is already in production. Colin is working away, and without further ado, let me hand you over to Colin, and let's see what he's been doing while I've been talking. Thank you.
Hey John, thanks for the introduction. I'm Colin McCarthy, for anyone that doesn't know me, and over the last month I've been delighted to be getting to know this machine. So for the last 3 years we've been selling Epson, and there's one word to describe Epson, and that's wow. And the SC7000 doesn't fail to disappoint in that regard. So the first job that we're doing here, you might be able to see from the camera up above, we're doing a mirror, and mirror traditionally for UV printers is something that's really difficult because the light bounces up and ultimately destroys the print heads. But in this case, Epson have spent time when the design and the build of the machine was taken into account. So we've got a large print head carriage, and in the print head carriage, our 8 print heads are centrally located, and the UV lamps are much further away than normal, and that gives us the ability to print onto really difficult media like mirror. So it's in this case, that's what we're showing first of all. And in this particular job, what we're doing is we're laying down a coating of white, a spot white coating first, then we're laying down our colour, and then we're laying down our varnish over it. And as you would only expect with Epson, with the expanded colour gamut, you see the colour and the quality that we're achieving here. This is second to none. I'm hoping the video is doing this justice, but you can see the Heineken green, something that we're all very familiar with, the red star, and the white underneath killing the mirror effect. But then we've got a lacquer varnish up over it, and we can see here the mirror effect on the Heineken. It's just truly stunning, you know?
Yeah, you're really showing off the colour gamut of the machine.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So that's an eye-popping Heineken green, and the red star, because we have red on board here. Remember, this UV flatbed printer has the widest colour gamut in its class. It's the only flatbed with red. Red is incorporated, they say, in 29% of the top brands' logos. You're going to be able to match your customers' difficult colours with this machine. This is taking flatbed printing at this level, at this price point, to a whole new level. It's something we're really excited about, because we're so used to, with Epson products, with the S series, the colour consistency and the performance around colour is second to none. Epson are renowned for their proofing devices, for their photographic printing, but they've always been involved in inkjet on the eco-solvent and signage side, but not so aggressively under their own label until relatively recently. But they've stolen a march in terms of what they're able to do. And again, some of those features and benefits that we're so used to in the S series, we can see here now in this UV flatbed printer. So what have you got for us next?
So the next job I'm setting up here now is, it really demonstrates one of the most exciting things about the printer, and that's the height at which the head can come up to. So we've taken a measurement of this tin earlier on. The maximum print height that the head can go up to is 80 millimeters. So we can print onto objects that are up to 80 mil high. In this case, this tin is just under that height. We're at 78 millimeters, and we're going to print, again, we're going to print in layers. We're going to print white onto it. Then we're going to print color, and we're going to cover it with a varnish. And again, it's not necessarily that we'd be printing one up. We could take the whole bed and fill these with these tins. But again, it's more to demonstrate the capabilities and how versatile this machine is, and the different substrates at which it can print onto.
So were you saying that this is 2 millimeters
below its maximum height?
below
Yeah.
its maximum height? Right.
So an awful lot of other printers in the industry would be looking at heights of maybe 40, 50 mil, and it's quite difficult then to print onto weird shaped objects, as an example, if you want to get it underneath your head, you know.
Is there any truth in the rumour Jacobs on their first order?
Absolutely, yeah. We've all seen our personalised Coca-Cola bottles. Watch this space. I think we're all getting personalised tins of roses or Jacobs biscuits for this Christmas.
As I said, 29% of the world's top brands use the colour red, and we can all think of those logos. And in an Irish, or on the island of Ireland, in that kind of context, I think it likes of Tato, Supermax, Barry's Tea is another one. And internationally, we all know Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola Red, Vodafone, Oracle, KFC, the list goes on and on. And the red of this machine and the colour gamut is truly stunning. Not to labour the point.
So we're coming towards the end of this.
And it's immediately dry, of course, for those.
Absolutely, yeah. This is ready to go. And the beauty of printing direct onto the object in this case is, you know, you're reducing the amount of labour and overheads that you've got in this.
Yeah.
This product is ready to go into a box and be sent out to the customer. You know?
Whether that's a carry board, die bond, you name it.
Exactly, yeah. So we're nearing the end here now.
So this is tin or metal?
It's a tin. It's like an aluminium based tin.
So if you're looking at the machine, I don't know how well it comes across over the camera there, but it's stunning build quality. It's extremely robust, extremely reliable. Again, this is something that Epson products are renowned for, but this machine is taken it to a whole new level. It weighs in at 1,370 kilos. That's nearly a ton and a half. It's double the size of some of the key competitors out there. And that highlights one of the reasons why Epson are given such a generous warranty with this machine on the island of Ireland. There's a 2-year on-site warranty, inclusive of the printhead. We'll talk about that a bit further later on.
So you can see finished product now again, and I'm hoping that the video again does this justice. But again, eye-catching red, really good consistency over the whole product. And again, just like print quality is just absolutely incredible. But again, with Epson, that's the sort of stuff you just begin to expect.
So what do you have for us next?
Yeah.
Busy here, yeah?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Keep the machine busy. That's what it's all about. So I think the next product is an interesting product. This is a sweatboard. This is a new enough product, isn't it, John?
Yeah, it's a really innovative fibre board from Print Solutions in Dublin. And it's Sweatboard, our Swedish company. I'm sure this is available across Europe and in the different markets because, of course, we've been joined by people literally from all over the globe for this particular virtual launch. That's the benefit of the internet, of course. So it's Sweatboard, it's a fibre board. This particular one, there's various thicknesses. It's 16 millimeters in thickness. It's PVC free. It's environmentally friendly, therefore. It's very easy to use, dust free, doesn't crack. And it's designed for a range of point of sale, signage, and 3D construction applications. We're very excited by the quality. Like you have an innovative and quality product together with an innovative and quality producing printer. It's really a marriage made in heaven. Wait till you see the quality that you can produce on this paperboard right here. So Colin, you're going to be you're printing it's a red solid.
Yeah, this is a red solid. So I think it's by no coincidence that the Digital Print.ie logo is typically associated with red. All good brands associate with the colour red, you know. So we're going to start this job now. So I've purposely left the key lines in this job because for demonstration purposes for you guys watching through the channel at the moment, you're going to have to see where this would be cut. So we're going to start producing this job now. Again, we're going to produce this because we're printing onto a really smooth white surface. No white involved this time. But we're going to produce red and a spot varnish. So the spot varnish will only produce where the colour is. So in this case now we're taking advantage of the expanded colour gamut. And as John has already pointed out, maybe, you know, some of the branding, and it's not by chance that Epson have gone to expand their colour gamut on this, and it's not a 4-colour machine. So we've got black, cyan, magenta, yellow, light black, light cyan, light magenta and red. And this expanded colour gamut allows us hit colours time after time after time. It's a sort of thing that we've become to expect now. We're very used to the 8600 and the 4600 and the sort of quality they can produce day in, day out. So again, if we change to the overhead camera here, hopefully you get a good idea of what's going on and the colour that we're laying down. So you can start to see there now, hopefully by the light reflecting where the varnish is being put down. So this is all happening in one pass. It's one of the really good features of the machine, is the ability to do white, colour and varnish all in the same pass.
And you have very little degradation in speed when you incorporate varnish or white or both together, right?
100%, yeah.
It's one of the things that
one of the massive features on the machine. One of the things that we were so excited about when we started reading about this machine way back when was the idea that this would not affect productivity. You know, like one of the main factors of people wanting to buy flatbed would be the ability to flood white and stuff like this for packaging and stuff like this, backlit materials. And to have that affect the speed and the quality of the machine is almost a crime, really, isn't it? You know, so one of the exciting things that Epson done with this machine is does not affect productivity. You know, you're taking maybe 1% of the speed off.
So our colleagues in the UK were a little bit ahead of us with the launch of this machine, and they've quite a number of units sold already across the different partners that they're working with there. Of course, here in Ireland, on the island of Ireland, it's digitalprint.ie. We provide island-wide coverage. But it was very interesting for us to hear that a handful of the units have been sold to companies involved in signage, and another machine was sold to a company involved in packaging and prototyping, and another machine was sold into a company in fine art printing, who until now has only been printing roll-to-roll on canvas work, fine art. They saw the colour gamut, the expanded colour gamut here, and they realised that this would be an effective way for them to expand their business offering into new areas, to offer new types of substrates other than canvas to their customer base. Although, as you'll see, as the demonstration goes on, we can also print directly onto canvas here. Now, we've all come together through LinkedIn, and we're pretty amazed at the power of LinkedIn, and it's become even more important since the pandemic. I mean, social selling has always been important, but it's becoming increasingly important nowadays. Yep. We've all met here together via LinkedIn. That was the vehicle we used to launch this show. In the UK, there's 29 million users of LinkedIn. In the Republic of Ireland, there's 2 million users. Just think about that for a second, and think about the power of LinkedIn, because all users are on to do business. So we've invited a very special guest on to be with us here today to give you a very short presentation on how you, as a sign maker or printer, could use LinkedIn to grow your business. So we're going to hand you over now to Nigel Cliff. He's going to give you that presentation I just mentioned. But all the while, Colin is going to be busy here, switching from one job to another, and you won't miss a trick. You'll be able to keep an eye on progress in the inset. So we'll talk to you very soon again. Thank you.
Good afternoon, John. Thanks you very much indeed for that very kind introduction. I'm delighted to be here this afternoon bringing together an event with digitalprint.ie and Epson, showing the new V7000. What an extraordinary piece of kit that looks. It takes me back to my early days in my career, 40 years ago, when I was first in the print industry, and at one point in time even worked for a company in London producing billboard posters and wide format stuff, and I think I was about 23 at the time, and for quite a number of years my life was in the world of print. So I'm absolutely delighted today to be here representing a slightly different piece of business, but it's still with some, I guess I used to call it ink under my fingernails, not quite, but nearly there. So here I am today to talk about LinkedIn and how it can benefit people in the print industry in the wide format sector particularly. And I guess most of the people who are on this platform today watching this seminar are going to be people who've got a LinkedIn profile. Have you not? It's what business professionals do around the world. It's where we all go to represent our business brand. But let me tell you this, that most of those personal brands I look at, those LinkedIn profiles I look at online, are letting you people down badly. People just don't seem to get the importance of representing your personal brand online. And to that extent, you know, it's where people go first. It's, you know, these days search is what we do. We look for content online. We look for solutions to problems, people that can help us with those problems. And it's just increasingly the case that 70% of the journey is probably made before that prospect customer even knocks on your door. And one of those things they will do in that journey is to look at your LinkedIn profile on that journey. And if they don't like what they see, if it doesn't engender a trust or integrity in what they see, then they're going to be going somewhere else. So today what I wanted to do was just explore with you a couple of things, a couple of tips and tricks around the world of LinkedIn that you can take hold of today and actually make a difference for your businesses and in your world of print. So here we go. There are two things to get right on LinkedIn. Just two things. It's as simple as that. The first thing is optimize your profile for people and algorithms. Now, what I mean by that is, I've just mentioned how important the profile is, and we've got to get it right in two ways. We've got to make it relevant and attractive to that person who may be visiting our profile for the very first time. But also we've got to work on making sure that the vocabulary contained in that profile actually resonates and has the language that our target audience is going to resonate with. So there's a piece of work to do there around getting that profile really licked into shape. At the very top of it, we have a profile picture. And this is not Facebook, people. Not being a colada on the beach with your shades on. This is LinkedIn. It's a professional platform, but it doesn't need to be stuffy. So what I'm looking for in the profile image is simply a face which fills the area of that round circle on LinkedIn with your face. Get over it. You just have to put your face in there. And the reason this is because when your content moves around with you on LinkedIn, the image of you goes really small. So the purpose of you having a large area of your image or your face in that image is to make sure that you are seen and recognized against your content on LinkedIn. So that's the really important thing. So what else have we got? We've got a background image, and many of you will have seen so many people's profiles with that gray, boring, yellowy, funny thing going on in the background with no imagery, no nothing. And it just looks like homeless, doesn't it? So what we need to do is we need to put something entertaining or useful in that image area. It's a funny shape, it's very wide and narrow, but what we want to do is help our customer by telling a story in that image. It might have a little bit of light branding. I'm not altogether fond of it being overtly too salesy. I think that sales sort of journey happens down the line, but just give me an image that resonates with what it is you can do. And in the instance of what we're talking about now, with this new piece of equipment, what a great shot it would be to have that picture displayed in that background. So when your audience looks at your profile for the first time, that image resonates. It's clear on the tin what you do immediately. Name's your name. So don't confuse that with other bits of information like you know, your qualifications or your telephone number or your email address. Nah, your name is your name, and actually I think you're able to be less found on LinkedIn if you corrupt that name field with other material. And a bit underneath that is what you might call your LinkedIn headline. Now, if you don't go in and amend this, LinkedIn will just default with your job title and the name of the company you work with under there, which probably tells me nothing at all. So you can use this field with the 220 characters available to tell me a story, to resonate with me. When I come looking at your profile for the first time, I want to know what you've got for me. I want to know how you can help me. So it's important to have a sense of personality in there. And it's really important to have the keywords that you'd wish to attract that audience with. That's really, really important. And you've got 220 characters to do it. So I think, and it's not easy actually, getting the whole of, you know, what you want to say out in 220 characters is really hard. I think Winston Churchill once said, "I'm sorry I wrote you a long letter. I didn't have the time to write you a short one." I love that phrase because actually getting something short and sweet and succinct is really often quite difficult. But spend a bit of time really getting that right, because it really is important. Now, in this few minutes I've got together today, I can't go through the whole of the profile, but really I urge you to go onto LinkedIn and make sure that you've completed all the sections available. Really have a detailed about section, make it with plenty white space, write it in the first person, give me examples of ways in which you've made customers happy. Make sure there's a call to action. You read in the profile, what do you want me to do next? Is it to telephone you? Is it to email? Why not put that detail in the about section? Because I only get to see the contact details of a person on LinkedIn when I'm connected to them, which means if I'm looking at your profile and we're not connected, all very nice, but now how do I get hold of you? So make that easy for the person viewing your profile for the first time by offering them those contact details in the about section. You could add in some hashtags in there, all sorts of things, but don't underutilize the extent of 2,600 characters, call me a nerd, in the about section. Utilize that as much as you can. Experience section the same. Recommendations, they're so valuable. If real people have experienced wonderful things from the services you provided, that's just terrific, isn't it? It's not you telling the story, it's other people telling the story of you through recommendations. So those are really powerful. And sort out your skills as well. I'm going to leave it there on that part. Number 2 on this LinkedIn success path is engagement. You have to engage on the platform if you want good things to happen from it, folks. Nothing will happen if you sit there with the best profile in the world. Will not cut it on LinkedIn if that's all you ever do. So engaging on the platform is the secret sauce of LinkedIn. And that doesn't mean just posting your own content to your audience. That's actually engaging with other people's content just as much as you might be posting your own, if not more. So if you are still in that stage of, I'm not really confident to sort of start doing this stuff, Nigel, what do I say? Who do I say it to? Who's seeing it? Then actually communicating on other people's content is a great way to find your tone of voice, your place in the world on LinkedIn. So communicating with others on their content, adding your experience, look for the streams of material that's in your space, and that will be enhanced by having made your profile optimized in that regard. So you begin to get a better homepage feed of content. And as soon as you start engaging on relevant content, LinkedIn's algorithms wonderfully begin to understand what it is that interests you and send you more of it, which gives you more things to comment in, which means you get the better material. And over time, your homepage feed improves so much by having the right kind of content coming into it. And then you begin to find your tone of voice, and then you can start posting content. Now, just quickly to wrap up on this, what should I be posting? Well, you want to be posting the answers to questions that people typically ask you in your day-to-day lives. That is the best and easiest form of knowledge sharing, because there are a lot of people out there don't know what you know. How can they be expected to know it if you're not telling them? So the opportunity is there on LinkedIn to share what you know with an audience that's actually ready and wanting to hear it. And when you get into that mode of sharing that experience, that value, the algorithms begin to take over and do the rest for you. That content finds its way to the doorstep of people that are interested in that content. And if they like what you've got, they're thinking about an option to use what it is you do, then actually you can wait for the opportunities over time to begin to come to you, rather than you feeling that you're always outbound selling on LinkedIn. Actually, what you're doing, you're being of value to an audience that likes what you've got, and over time, with the right strategy, that audience will start coming to your door. And that's a terrific thing. Sat here in your pajamas on Zoom, meeting lots of people, generating good content, and you need never get off your chair to have multiple conversations with people literally around the globe that are interested in your products and services. But it's that engagement piece that is the secret sauce to LinkedIn, and that's the bit that I urge you to pick up and run with today. So there we have it. Optimize your profile, engage on LinkedIn, and I'm delighted to have presented just those few little features for you. And I wish, John, I'm so pleased to be a part of this today, and I hope you have a really successful day. Wishing you all the best for the future, and thanks very much indeed for allowing me to share with you today. Cheers, John.
Thanks very much to Nigel for an excellent presentation. I hope there's some tips and tricks there. There are definitely some tips and tricks there you'll be able to put to good use immediately. LinkedIn is extremely powerful. I'm standing here behind the Epson S8600. This is our flagship machine. It's part of the S-Series range from Epson. And this is the #1 selling eco-solvent or general signage printer in Ireland, the UK, and across the world right now. You're looking at it right here. And one of the things that makes us so excited about the V7000 UV flatbed is that the piezo printhead technology under the hood here is similar. It's adapted for UV, obviously. This is eco-solvent ink, adapted for UV on the V7000. This machine packs a real punch. It's Pantone certified. It's the only signage printer in its class that's Pantone certified. And together with the Epson Edge dashboard and the very detailed profiling system for literally hundreds of media and substrates, so whatever media and substrate you happen to want to print on, a very easy to use profile is there ready to go. That together with this Pantone certification means that across time and across all substrates, you're going to match your customer's Pantone color very easily and very effectively. So if you're having difficulties getting consistent color, matching your customer's Pantone colors, people are increasingly looking to stand out from the crowd. Having a good match for their Pantone color is a good start. If that's a problem, come and talk to us about this printer here. There's a couple of other things that we really love about this printer. The print quality. The micro piezo printhead here produces a droplet size of around 4 picolitres. That's in the photographic realm. But it's eco-solvent printing, there's no compromise. It's just as good for all your outdoor work as any other eco-solvent printer on the market. But it can also enable you to tap into high quality photographic work, indoor decor work, and so much more. And then there's the build quality. Very similar to the V7000, the build quality in this machine is outstanding. Everything about this machine, every component, every chassis, the rewinder and the unwinder that come as standard, they're all designed and made by Epson. And that's one of the reasons why there's a generous 2-year on-site warranty with this machine. So if a printer like this is of interest to you as a sign maker and you're based on the island of Ireland, don't hesitate to reach out. About 100 sign makers and printers are using this technology right now for distinct competitive advantage. We're talking about companies like the Sign Place in Burts in County Donegal, Sign Time outside Maherafelt, EF Signs in Tralee, the printed image. They're all using the Epson S8600 to great effect. They're growing their business, they're growing their profitability. So if that's of interest to you, reach out. Now, all the while you've been able to keep an eye on what's happening in the V7000, but let's go back for a closer look and let's see what Colm has been doing while we've been away.
Hey, welcome back. I suppose I've been kept, well, I won't say busy because the machine is doing the work. In the last while Nigel was talking, you could see in the corners of the video that we were still printing away. So we completed this job here. I'll just switch back to the camera and everything. We completed this job here. So this is your traditional point of sale work. Again, you can see the light reflecting off this, the shine of the lacquer, the varnish that was put onto it. And again, just stunning print quality, and the red is just absolutely amazing. So I don't know whether you can pick out the key line in this, but these would have been folded and cut down into little point of sale things. The sort of thing you're familiar to see at checkouts holding magazines or maybe cans of a drink or whatever it might be for a promotional item. So the machine is still printing away. So in the 10 minutes that we were with Nigel and the minute or two that John was talking about the 8600, we were printing away on this, and we were also printing away. We started an 8x4 job. So these 8x4s, probably not very exciting, but it's the sort of thing that people do every day, run-of-the-mill work on their flatbeds. So
pick another job with red, did you?
Yeah, well, it's hard not to really. When you're picking big brands, it's hard not to pick a job with red in it. So these, we'd call them Toblerone signs. They're the sort of signs that are cut down, tri-folded into your normal triangular stands, and people are put them over bollards or whatever. I was actually outside Power City this morning. Power City had a whole row of them covering their horrible looking bollards and advertising. Looks really good, you know. So I think these Toblerone things demonstrate again colour. You can see the consistency of the yellowy colour in the background over the whole sheet. But again, the red just pops off, and again with the varnish all done in one pass, this is just a mind-blowing job. We've used the rest of the 8x4 sheet to produce a couple of Instagram post things that people use, whether they're Facebook or whatever, but these are the sort of things, this is what generates volume for people, and people want to do them. So you can see in the few minutes that we've been away, we produced a full 8x4, we're just near the end of it, and that was on top of a 4x4. So the machine's just really built for production, just truly stunning.
We're celebrating Switzerland.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, come on the Swiss. So again, the vacuum on the machine, is going to turn that off. So again, hopefully you'll get the idea from this, maybe between the camera up above. Stephen, if you want to just switch to that camera for a second. So you get the idea of this in terms of the actual quality of the job, but just really amazing print quality and speed and productivity all rolled into one. So I think if we can take a few minutes, John, one of the things I'd really like to show on the machine, we've already touched on it earlier on, was the ability to do multiple passes of different colours onto the one substrate without it affecting productivity. So on this next job, I'm going to take a sheet of acrylic and I'm going to produce it once with colour only.
What thickness is that, Colin?
This is 10mm acrylic.
Now, of course, we have a massive bed size here, right? So if you wanted, you could be printing.
Like, I'm really what I want to do here is, John, I want you to get your phone out. I'd like you to time this, and really the aim here is to show the people that are watching that there is little or no degradation in productivity and speed of production here when we go to do different things. So in this, I'm going to take a job and I'm going to produce it just in colour, and unlike others, I'm not just producing this in 4 colours. We're using the expanded gamuts of 4 colour print heads here. 2 of the print heads do CMYK, the other 2 print heads do the light cyan, light magenta, light black and the red. So I'm just going to set this job now.
So you tell me when, right?
Yeah, we'll time it from the time that the print head moves to do its first pass.
We're taking questions live, aren't we?
We will be at the end of this, yeah.
People want to ask questions.
Yeah, so yeah, if you're viewing this through our website ultimately, so if you look below the video, there's a section there for you to fill out and ask questions. So feel free to submit any questions that we haven't answered while we're producing these range of jobs.
And if there's any questions that we don't get to, we do our very best to answer them over the course of the next couple of days. Of course, there's people watching here from all over the globe. The interest that we had on LinkedIn was phenomenal. We had nearly 600 people register for the event. It's very humbling for us, really, I suppose. We deal on the island of Ireland. That's our business. We're an Epson Pro Graphics Pro partner on the island of Ireland, and it's really only companies that can provide excellent service and support that will get that accreditation. We work very closely with Epson to ensure our customers' best interests are met and that you're well looked after if you invest in an Epson product. But if you happen to be based outside of the island of Ireland, we would be more than happy to help in any way we can. If you want to reach out to us, we do our very best to put you in touch with a local reseller. This printer isn't available in all markets, but it's available in most of the key markets that are out there at the moment.
Do you want to get your stopwatch ready there now?
Yeah. So you give me the nod.
You ready? Now, go. So this in itself will be a really nice looking job, but obviously when you're printing clear acrylic, one of the advantages will be to flood it with white. So we'll do this again now in a minute, and we'll add to this by flooding it with varnish as well, because that will be it at its slowest. Now in our case with the V7000, our slowest is of zero compromise really.
So in terms of deliveries, Colin, if people are looking to take delivery, we'll do an on-site survey to ensure that the delivery on the day, the physical delivery will go as seamless as possible.
Absolutely, right? and Epson expect that from us. It's not part of our strategy, it's part of Epson's strategy for the printer. So Epson have set forward a very rigorous on-site survey to be completed by one of us with the future customer to ensure that everything goes really smoothly. From the, you know, it's one thing installation, everything going smoothly, but getting it off the truck, getting it through a door, getting it onto its position in where it's going to sit in the factory, all these things count, and Epson have thought of absolutely everything in that regard.
And 3-phase power is not a requirement, right?
No, it's single phase.
Single phase. Yeah, a lot of people need to hear that.
Single phase, 40 amp. Now 40 amp might sound exciting to some people, but your electric shower at home is 40 amps, so no big deal.
So we're looking at you submitting jobs there. What software are you printing from?
Well, I'm using the Epson Edge RIP. That's a RIP that actually comes as standard both with the roll-to-roll machines, but Epson supply an Onyx license with each machine, so we choose to use the Onyx license just for an interaction point of view.
The Onyx license on
the SCS, yeah, on the SCS, the roll-to-roll printer. So you can see, you can stop that, did you?
Yeah, it's 1 minute 50 seconds.
Okay. So you can see from this, again, I'm hoping you'll see, like, really amazing print quality again, you know, as you would expect. So we're going to reproduce this job now, and we're going to flood it with white and varnish.
So same job again,
just change the varnish settings now. It.
So 1 minute 50 for the first. So the Onyx RIP, Onyx, obviously our partners for the RIP on the S series, works to great effect. Onyx were very quick off the mark, and Onyx Thrive does support this printer, but it's not a standard feature. The Epson Edge dashboard, the Epson Edge and the UV controller software as standard do the job, right, Colin?
Absolutely, yeah. So just getting a new sheet of acrylic. So I've changed the print direction this time. So because the heads are done in layers, so we've got our white heads are at the back of the carriage, our colour heads are in the middle of the carriage, and our varnish heads are at the front of the carriage. So if we want to lay white down first, we travel in the opposite direction to where we normally would. That gives the ability to put white down first, then colour, then varnish. And if we want to change that around for printing reverse onto acrylic as an example, we can change the direction that goes again to put varnish down first, then colour, then white. And again, just go. Yeah.
So we're printing varnish here. Like obviously, your environment needs to be quite clean if you're printing the varnish.
Dust-free environment, really, for varnish. But again, one of the nice things with the varnish on this machine will be we can control the amount of varnish we put down. Right. So rather than using 100% varnish all the time, if we use 100% varnish all the time, you really need to be in a dust-free environment because varnish draws dust and dirt in. It's like a magnet to it, you know. So by controlling the amount of varnish we use, we can still get that finish without attracting that much dirt and dust. But yeah, ultimately UV machines should be in a clean environment, yeah. So we're actually varnishing this, which is a bit nonsense really. There'd be no point in varnishing it in real life, but again, we're doing this just to demonstrate speed, productivity, stuff like this.
I know we had the last few minutes of questions coming in. Was a question in there from Kenneth and Portadown. He was asking, is the head height set automatically?
It is, yeah. We're not actually demonstrating that today, Kenneth, just for speed of I want to get through as much stuff as I possibly can. But absolutely, it is a feature. Maybe when we're finished doing these, I'll actually show you. So there's a measurement tool within the head. We set it then to rise up to whatever we think it is. We can set it to go to 100 mil up and come down onto the substrate. And you can choose at what point on the substrate to measure. So for example, if you were printing onto a canvas as an example, where you feel the corners are bulkier, you can measure that corner and you can specify 10 mil in and 3 mil up. So whatever you want really. So we're nearly through this job here now, and you can see the white is flooding over the colour.
Yeah, the black is stunning as well, isn't it?
Wait to see this now. When we hold this up, the difference that white makes to it, you know, and ultimately to be able to do that all in one pass without trouble on speed, this is just mind-blowing, isn't it?
You'll be hanging this one up later on in your hallway, will you?
Yeah. out at the front door.
There's something maybe that we'll show at the very end, Colin. Are there any safety features on the machine to prevent damage? Like the warranty includes the print head, right?
It includes everything. Every screw, nut and bolt. Well, yeah, well, like you see so many different things out there. So we're finished there, sorry.
So just a little over 2 minutes there.
Yeah, so little or no degradation in speed. So you can see flood white on the back, but more importantly, look at the difference that the white makes to the colour job. Like, I can't begin to explain how amazing this is in person. Like, really and truly, for people on the island of Ireland that are interested in buying a flatbed, you really need to put yourself in front of this machine because the quality is just absolutely mind-blowing. But if you're already using an Epson, you know the quality that this machine can produce because we're using the same sort of technology. And hats off to Epson, yet again, they've got it 100% spot on.
So, Colin is going ahead, putting another job up, and before we finish up, I just wanted to share with you another product that we have here today, and that we're actually launching here officially as well. It's not Epson, it doesn't say Epson on the tin, so to speak, but it is Epson technology under the hood, in that it incorporates Epson print heads. It's the Projet EP3050. This also is a UV printer, but it's a desktop UV printer. It has a bed size of 300 millimeters by 550, and it will also print on a height up to 150 millimeters. It's designed, really, the limit would be your imagination in terms of what you can print on. It'll print onto ceramic, it'll print onto glass, it will print onto metal, it will print onto wood, it will print onto leather. You can put down jigs and print on pens and USB sticks. Keep going, the limit is your imagination. But one of the things that we're really excited about this machine is that it has a rotary printing capability. That means it can print on cylindrical objects, it can print onto bottles, it can print onto any type of cylindrical object. So we're really excited about that. And the other thing that we're really excited about is its price point. It's coming in at less than €10,000. That's less than €200 per month over 5 years. So if this is of interest to you, if you like UV, but maybe your shop is a bit too small to fit the V7000 in, come and have a look at this machine. It's desktop, it's neat, and it can enable you to open up to a wide and varied range of applications. Another one is fine art work as well, because it'll print directly onto canvas. It's CMYK plus varnish plus white. So again, a lot of the jobs that you've seen off the V7000 could be produced in a much smaller way, in a much slower way on this machine here. But let's go back to the workhorse and let's see what Colin has in store for us next.
I'm really embarrassed that you called me a workhorse, John. I think that's absolutely a terrible way to describe me. I would have called the machine a workhorse now, in fairness. So, like, I think John kind of already half stole me thunder in terms of he mentioned the smaller machine, and obviously there's an A1 version of that machine available too.
That's right.
The 6090. All of them could do canvas, and this machine likewise can do canvas. And I suppose what we're going to do here is we're going to use a store-bought canvas which is already mounted onto a frame, so we don't have to become woodworking experts in order to build a frame. I suppose the beauty of this particular canvas will be that I bought it in a €2 store. So this canvas in its size is €2 to buy. This is absolutely mind-blowing. We're going to take a really low-value product and turn it into something really high value. So I'm going to place this down onto the bed.
This is why we're here. I want to give a big thanks to the guys behind the cameras, James and the director Stephen. They're doing an awesome job. I want to say a big shout out to them. Thanks very much for a great job, lads. I see that Jan Buchart has sent in 3 questions, so thank you very much for your interest, Jan, and we'll be in touch with you. If we don't get to answer them here, right now, we will be in touch with you over the next couple of days. Thanks again for your interest.
So we're going to look at this, just printing the canvas, and I think then we can start answering some questions.
Yeah.
Once or twice I've been around. I'm going to grab the handheld camera again, Stephen. You just bear with me. Once or twice I've been around the side of the machine, you might have seen me. So what I was coming around here to do was I was controlling the vacuum. So the vacuum on the machine is done in sections. Each section is controllable by the operator. So the vacuum control on the front of the machine is here, where you turn your vacuum on or off. So maybe I'm not showing that exactly. I'm there now. So you control the vacuum on or off from here, but then you can turn off sections of the vacuum. Maybe just go back to the normal camera there. You can turn off sections of the vacuum to increase the strength of the vacuum in the area that you're working on, keeping the substrate held down and assuring that we're not going to have any damage to the print heads.
Let's talk about size. What's the maximum size we can print on here?
Well, it's 250 millimeters long by 1.3 meters wide, so it'll comfortably take an 8x4 with a bit of bleed.
What floor space do I need?
Well, the machine, as I said, is 2.4, so floor space, Epson again, just setting really high standards. Epson would have a work zone for a safety zone, so to include the ability to walk and walk around the machine. So floor space that needs to sit into in this direction here is 5 meters, and in this direction here would be about 4 meters. We can comfortably sit inside that.
Thanks to Nigel for that question there. Can the warranty be extended after 2 years? We were talking about that earlier on.
Yeah.
The print heads are included, right?
Yeah, one topic that we didn't talk about, one of the most interesting things I felt when I started working on the machine first was that the heads are actually sub-set up into the carriage. So the carriage is there to protect the print heads. A lot of UV machines, the heads are actually exposed. They're slightly below the carriage, right. And if anything's going to take a whack, it's going to be your print head. In this case, Epson have thought of that again. You know, it's just fantastic. The heads are actually, when you're actually the company that creates the print head and you create all the equipment, you know what this means. You're not assembling other people's manufactured items together into one piece to try and make something out of it. These are the be all and end all. They've done every single part of this themselves. And when you add all this up into one thing, it just becomes a marriage made in heaven.
One of the things that excited us about working with Epson always was how renowned Epson were, how other manufacturers have built their businesses on Epson print heads over the year. And here we are now with Epson very aggressively, nicely but aggressively, bringing to market products under their own label, their own technology under their own label, not their technology under somebody else's label. They want the pie and they want to eat it themselves now. And you as the customer now can share in that success.
So our last job here, again, I'm not sure you'll get the whole idea from the thing. Who'd have thought that I was artistic? Oh, but there you go. John's giving me a good idea. I was actually thinking about opening up a stall on Stephen's Green on a Sunday selling these. So keep an eye out for Workhorse Arts on Sundays around Stephen's Green. We'll be selling these. I won't be selling them for €2 each either. The quality of that is just mind-blowing. You know? It's incredible. It's incredible. But you know what? I'm going to put this back up because I think we can answer some other questions, but I think we can demonstrate something else as well.
Talk to me about speed, right? If I'm doing 8x4s, that's my bag, right? That's what I'm interested in. How many 8x4s can I get off this baby an hour?
Top speed is 16 an hour.
Right.
16 sheets an hour. So to include,
you're nearly that, you're doing white and varnish as well, right?
You'd be getting 15.
Right.
You'd be getting 15. So that's top speed. Production speed is more, something like 12 or 13 sheets an hour. So production speed would be the sort of quality that we've been producing here with white and with varnish, doing 12 sheets an hour. Let's put that into perspective. Based on a 40-hour working week and 5 days in the week, we're looking at producing just over 400 boards a week. So I think if you've got 400 boards a week to do, you need one of these babies. You know, there's not many people out there doing 400 boards a week, but this is, it's second to none.
So I want to talk about the print head. We were talking about why it's included in the warranty and Epson's innovative design. But are there any other features on the machine?
Well, let me demonstrate that now. I think
right.
This is a good example. So I'm gonna revisit what it was asked about the head height.
Was it Jan asked about the head height, James, or
Ken? Okay, sorry, Ken. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get the machine to measure this canvas, and as I had said to you, the corner of this would be more specific in terms of the maximum height of this. So I'm going to get the machine to come over and measure the height of this. So I'll take this camera, maybe Stephen, if you can. See, I don't know whether we missed that, did we? Did we say? Missed it, I'll do it again. Hola.
How does that look, Stephen?
What I'll do is I'll raise it up higher and we'll watch it coming down more. Hold it there. Right. I think this is good to see. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that measurement and I'm going to adjust it and make it purposely wrong. And we just see some of the safety features that Epson put into the machine.
Good, yeah. Very good.
So even if I've done it wrong, the machine won't allow me to get it wrong, you know. Sorry about this now, 1 second.
This is what you get for broadcasting live.
That's it, what can you do? Do our best here, so, okay.
With the column, I believe Colin O'Connor has a question there. We'll do our very best to either answer it now,
So the height is moving up,
or we'll get back to you.
so it's going to come across, so I'm going to come down now just to get a bird's eye view. So you can see the little finger that's popped out. So that finger is going to come down, and as soon as that senses, it disappears up into the machine. So now it knows the height at which the heads are going to print at. And I think that's really, that's great technology, and that's all included. I suppose, yet again with Epson, you know, they kind of set their stall out really well, like on the SES range, where everything is included. No optional rewinders, no optional nothing. Everything is included
The
in this.
ionizer is included.
Everything,
As well, yeah.
absolutely everything included.
So that's an anti-static feature, of course. Great to have. So are
So
there any other safety features?
Oh yeah, well I'm gonna adjust the height of this now. So the machine has measured this canvas at 19.3. I'm gonna change this now to maybe 8 or 9 mil. So I'm an operator, I've had a bad day, I'm gonna get this wrong.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this wrong, but I suppose the difference here being, you know, that the safety net of this isn't gonna cost the company that I work for a whole heap of money to correct my mistake.
How many times have we heard it?
Oh, that's right. You'd be sick of listening to people talking about they can't use their flatbed because it's down, because they can't afford to get print heads in it, and this, that, and the other, you know.
So it comes with a 2-year warranty. It can be extended though, can't it?
That can be extended out to 5 years.
Yeah.
So you can buy the machine on day one with complete peace of mind guarantee
5 years.
that for the 5 years that you're maybe going to finance this machine over,
You have the warranty.
you know your costs are covered. The only thing you need to do is put substrates on it and ink in the back. That's the we look after the rest.
And the reason we're not talking about pricing is our pricing is applicable for Ireland. The warranty that we're talking about is applicable for Ireland. The island of Ireland may be applicable in other markets as well. A little bit unsure as to what the exact strategy is going to be.
Try and just stand out of the way there for a second. I'm just going to demonstrate.
So, anybody on the island of Ireland, do contact us and we'll get you the pricing as soon as.
So I'm setting this job to print now, and I've purposely got the head height wrong. So we'll see here on the front of the machine, it's going to start to rise up now. So again, what Epson have done here is thinking about safety and the speed that these things travel at. The time for it to stop means that the print heads being located in here are prevented from damage, because by the time that this triggered the collision and by the time the head come to a stop, the heads have not reached the point where the bed is. So again, it's an assurance that we're not going to be getting ourselves into trouble and we're going to be creating pricey, you know, fix events or whatever it might be. And again, that was just everything as you would expect from Epson works exactly like it's meant to work.
Very good. So we're kind of done. We've been here for an hour.
James, there's one more question there, is he?
That's the question on the varnish. We asked that one earlier on.
Spec of it. Can I print on? I doubt it.
That's the stuff you eat in the Indian restaurant.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure about that one. Yeah, no, maybe we'll try it. We'll try it out.
We'll check that one out later.
Yeah.
So
well, that's what happens when you're live, I suppose.
Yeah.
People are going to try and trick you.
So thanks very much for joining us live from Dublin. The equipment is right here. You're more than welcome to give us a call, reach out to us. If you want to come and see it in person or to arrange a virtual demo, we're more than happy to facilitate that. For that or for any of the equipment that we sell. Virtual demos, we're open and we're welcoming. You can submit your own jobs live. We can do it this way, or we can meet you in person, taking the necessary precautions, of course. We're open for business, we're ready to go, and we would be delighted to welcome you. So thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate your time. And watch out for more virtual demos, virtual launches from us. There's a number of exciting products.
Some really exciting stuff coming over the next couple of months. I suppose, you know, with everything that's been going on, we've had a little bit of a slowdown in terms of things coming in, but there's some really exciting stuff coming from digitalprint.ie. Keep an eye on our channel. There's really some exciting things to come, and I think it's great to finally show this machine off today. I think we've really demonstrated the versatility of it and the productivity from the point of view of doing 6-7 different jobs all in less than 50 minutes.
Yeah.
You know.
And you're not sweating?
No, I'm not sweating. No. So I think, like, you know, really great, but I feel like an hour really isn't enough on this machine.
Yeah.
I've so much to show you. I've so much to tell you about. Please feel free to get in touch. You know who to get in touch with: myself, John, James, Aidan, Stephen, Vincent, Alan, Kieran, you name it, the list goes on. All these people on the island of Ireland providing support and sales. Please get in touch. We'd love to show you what this thing can do.
And thanks to Paddy, our good friend Paddy, in printing it. Thanks for the nice comment, Paddy.
Very good, yeah. Thanks, Paddy.
Thank you.
See you now. Thanks.